Here's Long Lines Towers, Part 4. This is the Long Lines Tower in Augusta, Georgia. It has an LED up there, and it's been painted silver. This tower is close to Johnston, where Travis Glanton lives. It's right next to Augusta, Georgia's right next to the border between Georgia and South Carolina. And here's the Long Lines Tower in Johnston, South Carolina. According to what Travis Glanton said about this tower, of course, like every Long Lines tower, it originally had an old school incandescent, but in the early 90s, he said in the early 90s it got a FH308, but I don't think he is true. I think it instead got a FH301 or an SS129 or a KG225. Since I don't think 308s were around in that time. But the only strobe that this tower had, it was stuck on demo for a long time until 2001 when it was replaced by an FH306. And then in October of 2010, the 306 on this tower got replaced by a flash technology dual strobe FH324, and that's this tower's current beacon. It might get an LED soon, hopefully not. If it is, then I hope it will be an old school. I think this tower is painted silver as well. All the street view of this tower is low quality. The street view is from like 2009 or 2008. This right here is the Long Lines Tower in Florence, South Carolina. There's only two Long Lines towers found in South Carolina. Yep, the Johnston and this one, yep, in Florence, South Carolina. It has a flash technology dual strobe up here, and that top horn platform looks kind of interesting. It also got some cell antennas. Yeah, that's what this tower is used as now, a cell tower. This right here is the Guide Long Lines Tower in Liberty, North Carolina. There's none of street view of it, so I had to take a satellite view screenshot. And yeah, I covered up the address number. I think this tower is beaconless. I know nothing about it besides that it's an AT&T Long Lines tower. I think it's AT&T. Gotta be. And yeah, and it's painted silver. This is AT&T Long Lines Tower in Chase City, Virginia. It has an old school incandescent, I think. I can't really tell since this is old quality street view from like 2008. I know there's some good quality street view from 2008. Just mostly in like the Mid-East. Really. Midwest. This tower might have a single strobe. I don't know if it has a single strobe or an incandescent. Old school incandescent. And yeah, this street view is round white. I don't know if it's painted silver now. This is AT&T Long Lines Tower in Hampton, Virginia. I don't know if it has a beacon or not. There's not very close street view to it. All I know that it's an AT&T Long Lines Tower, and that's it. It got its horns removed. If it gets that platform removed, then it'll just look like a normal round white tower. This is an AT&T Long Lines Tower in McKinney, Virginia. This thing, I don't know what beacon it has, but it's gotta have a beacon since it's tall enough to have a beacon. Its horns are blocking the beacon. I don't know what this tower's used as now, but I see some like two satellite dishes there, two small satellite dishes. I'll tell you what the tower's being used as now. This is the AT&T Long Lines Tower in Windsor, Virginia. It has a flash technology dual strobe on it, and it looks like it's been painted silver. This is a long lines tower in Hampton, Virginia. So this is the kind of long lines tower that I don't. I think this is the kind of long lines tower that didn't get horns. It got like those. Yeah, they were called periscope antennas. I think this is those types of long lines towers that get periscope antennas. So this tower, yeah, it had an old school incandescent until like 2018 or 2019 when it was replaced by an LED. Hope it's night mode only. This is the AT&T, this is the long lines tower in Exmoor, Virginia. So, there's not any very close street view to it, so I decided to take a satellite view photo screenshot. It looks like it has a single strobe on it, and it's painted silver, so that makes more sense. It's also one of those. I think it's also one of those long lines towers that just gets periscope antennas. I think that's what those are, the ones that have like those things. This is the long lines tower in Nancock, Virginia. Yeah, it's another one of those long lines towers that gets periscope antennas. It has an LED, unfortunately. I'm assuming it's an old school because this street view is from 7 years ago, and so that would be like 2014. And so I had the LED. It's either an old school or an FTS 370. I wanted to say it's a 3600 since those didn't really appear until like 2018. Those appeared all over the big LT's area. You hate those 3600s. This right here is the long lines tower in Amelia Courthouse, Virginia. Yeah, that's the name. Amelia Courthouse. Yeah, that's what Google Maps said. I don't know what beacon this tower has, and I don't know if it even has a beacon or not. I think it does have like a hidden old school incandescent, most likely. I don't know. This street view's from like 2007 or early 2008. And the last one for this video, this is the AT&T long lines tower in Dillwyn, Virginia. It has some sort of like a cone strobe on it. Probably like an SS129 or a KG225. It's too small to be a FH301. FH301s tend to be like those huge box strobes. Smaller box strobes are like SS129s. Those Orga cone strobes, you barely see those anymore. And then the KG225s. KG225s are like half, since the bottom half of them is really just a box for like the control.